Good morning, guys. So, we shall start today's session. So, in yesterday's class, we saw the design procedure where we minimized the primitive flow table by direct comparison. Directly comparing each of these states, we minimized it and then we implemented them using combinational circuit with feedback, and we also saw the implementation using SR latch. And I was saying that you will be having a procedural method for minimization of these states. So with respect to that, we started with the implication table. So we shall see that today. So for the implication table, I was mentioning that the table is of this particular structure where you will be comparing each state with the other states. Okay. So we are giving it in this form of structure where along the rows we leave the first state and along the columns we leave the last state. Anyway, the comparison will be there. Okay. You have to compare A with B, C, D, E, F and G. So all these you can observe it along the this particular column. Same way you need to compare B with A, C, D, E, F and G. So with A the comparison would have been already over. That's why you are having this sort of table structure. Okay. Okay. So let us start doing the comparison. So the first thing to do is, if you are going to have different outputs, different outputs when you compare a pair of state, you call those as non-compatible state. Okay. Or you can say it is non-compatible pairs. Okay, wow. So let us start comparing. So first we are going to compare A with rest of the states. So comparing A with B, you can see that under the given input conditions, both the states have same output. So next we compare the next state values. So here for x is equal to 1, you have the same state. However, with x equal to 0, you are having different state. So at the start itself, we don't know whether D and E are compatible or not. So for that purpose, what we do is, with the box corresponding to A comma B, we write the condition that is to be checked. Okay, va? So if this D and E are compatible, then A and B is also compatible. Okay, va? So for that purpose, we write it over here. Then comparing A with C. So here for any given input condition, the outputs are different. For A, you have 0, 0. For C, it is 0 and 1. So it is not compatible. So you mark it with X marks. Okay. So the non-compatible pairs are marked with cross marks in the implication table. Okay, likewise we compare all these states. Now comparing A with D, here also the outputs are different. Then A with E, again the outputs are different. A with F, the outputs are same. However, here we don't know the case. So for this one we have, for x is equal to 0, you have D, and with F you are having C. And for x is equal to 1, we have A and B. So you need to note that C comma D and A comma B. Let us denote both the pairs. Okay. Then with A and G, the outputs are different. So this is not compatible. Okay. So we have finished comparing A with rest of the states. Now we need to compare B with rest of the states. However, B with A comparison is already over. So we always go from top to down. Okay, va? So comparing B with C, it is clearly seen that the outputs are different. So we give a X mark. Then B with D, again the outputs are different. Then B with E, outputs are different. B with F, here the outputs are same. And here we have C comma E and A comma B. C comma E and A comma B. Then comparing B with G, the outputs are different. So we give X mark. Next we compare C with the other states. So comparing C and D, you have different outputs. So this is not compatible. C with E, also the outputs are different. Then C with F, outputs are different. C with G, again outputs are different. Then D with E. So with D and E, both are same next state and same output. So we mark a tick sign over there. Okay. So compatible pairs are marked with tick mark in the table. Okay, va? Then comparing D with F. So comparing D with F, the outputs are different. So you give an X mark. Then comparing D with G, the outputs are same. For the input, if D and E are equivalent or compatible, you can say this to be compatible. So we write that over there. Then comparing E with F, the outputs are different. So give X mark. Then E with G, the outputs are same. Here also you have D comma E as the implied state, and F comma G, it is non-compatible as the outputs are different. So now first filling the table with these initial values, that is the implied states, cross mark and the tick mark. Next, what we need to do is where we have returned this implied states. So here I have written D comma E. Here C comma D, A comma B. Here C comma E, A comma B, and in these two D comma E. So we need to check whether the pairs we have written inside the boxes are compatible or not. If they are compatible, we give a tick mark. So if the implied states we have written inside the boxes are compatible, we give a tick mark. So if we have written two implied states, both should be equivalent. Only then you can say that is equivalent. Otherwise, you should not say it to be equivalent. Okay, ma? So let us see. So here in this first box, we have written D comma E. So we check the box corresponding to D comma E. So checking D comma E, we see that it is a compatible pair. We have given tick mark over there. So wherever I have written D comma E, I will give the tick mark over there. Okay. Because that was the only implied condition. So we can say that to be equivalent. Next, with these two boxes, here we have C comma D. So in C comma D, we have a X mark, and here A comma B, even though we have a tick mark, one of the implied state is not equivalent. So you have to give a cross mark over there. Similar way with C comma E, it is not compatible. So here also you should give a cross mark. Okay, va? So now you should take out the pairs where you have tick marks. Okay, va? So we have A comma B, then D comma E, D comma G, and E comma G. These are all the equivalent states we have. Okay. So what we could give is, we can combine this A and B and represent this with a single state. Here D is equivalent to E and G, and this E and G are also equivalent. So all these three, D, E and G, put together can be given a single state. Other than that, left out are C and F. So now our table will be having only 4 states. Okay. A and B are combined together. So this will be our reduced table. Okay, we combined A and B together, and C and F, you cannot combine it with anything else. Then D, E and G are combined together. That is, these three are combined and written as one state. These two are combined and written as one state, and the remaining two are written as such. Okay, va? So wherever you have the value B, we replace that with A, and so wherever you have value corresponding to E and F, we replace it with D. Okay, so based on that, we have this table. So with A and B, we have returned the value as D, A, and the outputs 0, 0. C is written as it is. However, this, did I make a mistake? Yes, I made a mistake here. So actually it is D, E along with G, we combined it to single state. So with C, we have G over here. So this is actually replaced with D. That's why you have D, F and the outputs 0, 1. Then for state D, E and G combinedly, what we do is we have A, D and 1, 0. In the other, that is in the state G, we are having E, but we know D and E are equivalent, so we replace it with D itself. And for F, you have C, B along with 0, 0. So for B, we replace it with A, as A and B are equivalent. Okay, that's how we get this reduced table. Okay, va? So this is the idea behind the implication table. Now let us see the implication table and the rest of the procedures for the design that we did yesterday. So let us consider that implicant table. Okay, so here that is what is given. So we found the equivalent states A comma B, then D comma E, D comma G and E comma G. So these three pairs are combined together and given as D, E and G. Now the reduced states are A and B are one state, C is one state, D, E and G are one state and F is one state. And the reduced table we saw now. Next, we shall see the procedure what we are actually going to do. So with the implication table, actually we are finding the compatible pairs. So we wrote wherever you had the tick marks, we wrote that separately, right? So with the implication table, actually we are finding the compatible pairs. So when we find the compatible pairs, that need not be always the minimal thing, because just now we saw we had the compatible pair as D comma E, D comma G and E comma G. So having everything as such is not the minimal set. So for that purpose, what we do is we go for merger diagram to know that you can combine D, E and G together to give a single state. For that purpose, we go for merger diagram. We will see that, and then you find the maximal compatibles from that particular set. Then we find the minimal set from it using the closed covering condition. So let us see one by one. So you are given with the primitive flow table like this. Now you are to find the compatible pairs. So the first step is find compatible pairs using implication table. So as I mentioned, for the implication table, you will be leaving out the first state along the rows and last state along the columns. So B, B, D, Okay, so this will be our implication table structure. So B, C, D, E, and F, A, B, C, D, and E. So we have left out the first state along the rows and last state along the column. Now we shall start comparing. So here comparing A with B. If you are going to have a letter symbol and don't care, you need not bother about it. If you are going to have different letter symbols, we denote that to check the implied state condition. Okay. So here comparing A and B, you have C, don't care, both are C, both are B, and don't care and E. So we don't have any issue with this. So we put a tick mark. Then comparing A with C. Here again, we don't have any issue. So we put a tick mark. Then comparing A with D. Here also we don't have any issue. So we put a tick mark. Then A with E. So here comparing, you have this is C and this is F. So we write that C comma F. Other places we don't have any issue. And similarly for A comma F, again it is C and F. So we write that. Okay. Then we compare B with C. So comparing B with C, for the first three columns, you don't have any issue. Here you have D comma E. That is, if D and E are compatible, you can say that. Then B and D. Here also again D comma E. Then with B and E, we don't have any issue. So we give a tick mark. Then with B and F, no issue. So we give a tick mark. Then comparing C with D. With C and D, we don't have any issue. With C and E, this is C comma F and this is D comma E. So C comma F and D comma E. Then comparing C with F, you can see that both C and F are stable states. However, they have different output values. So it is not compatible. So we give X mark over there. Okay. Then comparing D with E. So here we have C comma F. However, at the last column, we can see that D and E are stable states with different output values. So that is also not compatible. Then comparing D with F. Yes, D with F, you have C comma F and D comma E. Then comparing E with F, it is compatible. So we put a tick mark. Now with other places, we have already found that C comma F is not compatible and D comma E is also not compatible. So all these are non-compatible. Okay. So wherever you have the tick marks, we write that pairs as such. So the compatible pairs are so all the pairs. So A comma B, A comma C, A comma D. Wherever I am having tick mark, I am writing those. Then B comma E, B comma F, C comma D, and E comma F. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tick marks. So 7 compatible pairs we have written. Okay, va? Next, we need to give the maximal compatibles. So for that, we use something called merger diagram. So step 2 is find the maximal compatible using merger diagram. So merger diagram is nothing but a circular structure where we mark all the states with dots. So merger diagram is nothing but you draw a circle and notify all the states. So we had 6 states in the given thing. So we write those A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay. Next, in the merger diagram, what we do is, here we have found the compatible pairs, right? You draw lines between those pairs. So you have A comma B. So draw a line from A to B. Then A comma C. So draw a line from A to C. Then A to D. Then B to E. Then B and F. Then C, D. Then E, F. Okay, va? So this is the merger diagram for this particular example. So here, next what we do is, we look for closed structure, okay, to find the maximal compatible. So we look for a straight line or the triangle, or when it is any higher sided structure, that is rectangle or any other polygon, what you need is, you need to check whether the diagonals are also connected. So if you are simply having a trapezoidal structure or rhombolic structure without the diagonal being connected, you cannot consider that as a maximal compatible pair. Okay, we shall see such example also. So for here, the maximal compatibles are so here we have a triangle with states A, C, and D. So we write that. Then we have a triangle with B, E, and F. We have to write all of it actually. And we have another one line for A comma B. That's why this is called maximal compatibles. You are giving the maximal set. This is not minimized set as such. Okay, va? However, in this, if you check, all these 6 states are covered with these combinations itself. That is, we can say this A, C, and D are equivalent, B, E, and F are equivalent. You actually don't need this particular thing. So for that, actually, we go for closed covering condition. So this is our maximal compatibility. So whatever shapes you have in the merger diagram, we need to write those. Okay. Then the next step is to find.
Now here we can say A and B are equivalent and ஒரே ஒரு ஸ்டேட் வச்சு முடிச்சிடலாம் மேம்.
A and B equivalent சொன்னேன்னா நீ ஆனா it is not equivalent to B is not equivalent with C and D or E and F. உனக்கு எல்லாத்துக்குமே அது வந்து கம்பேட்டிபிளா இருக்கணும். இங்க பாரு, இல்ல உனக்கு வந்து C and D வந்து A யோட ஈக்குவலன்ட், பட் B is not in this set, right? அப்படி இருக்கிற கேஸ்ல you cannot say it. For example, ஏயும் பியும் ஈக்குவலண்டா இருக்கலாம், ஆனா ஏயோ பியோ அதர் செட்டோட ஈக்குவலண்டா இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. Just a minute. So, for example, உனக்கு ஏயும் பியும் ஈக்குவலன்னு சொல்ற. However, if we are checking the conditions, உனக்கு இந்த சியும் எஃப்பும் ஈக்குவலண்டா இருக்கிற வாய்ப்பே கிடையாது. The same way, D and E cannot be equivalent, right? So you cannot give this particular combination, right? இந்த சியும் எஃப்பும் ஈக்குவலண்டா இருக்க வாய்ப்பே இல்லை, டியும் ஈயும் ஈக்குவலண்டா இருக்க வாய்ப்பே கிடையாது. அதனால இது ரெண்டு ஈக்குவல்னு சொல்லி நீ ஏ பின்னு போட்டு ஃபர்தர் கம்பேர் பண்ணி ஏ அண்ட் பி ஒரு செட் ஒரு ஈக்குவலன்ட் ஸ்டேட்னு கொடுக்க முடியாது. ஓகே, that is what you have to remember. Okay, so we shall find the minimal set of compatibles using closed covering condition. So here the thing is, we write the compatible pairs and the implied states. So the compatible pairs were A comma B, A comma C, A comma D. That is the one we obtained from the implication table. Then B comma E, B comma F, then C comma D, and E comma F. Right? These were our compatible pairs, and for this all these did not have any implied states. That is A comma B, A comma C, A comma D did not have any implied state. Then B comma, okay, wherever we had tick mark, we didn't have any implied state for this particular case actually. Right? So here in this case, as I was mentioning, you cannot say the state C and F to be equivalent and D and E to be equivalent. These are not compatible. Okay, they can never be equivalent state because they are having different output conditions. So you have to go with this simplification alone. So the minimal set of compatibles here is, so the minimal set of compatibles are, so you can combine only these three and B, E, and F. Okay, put together you can have a state A, and put together you can have a state B. Okay, well, that is what we saw yesterday with this particular one. Right? So we had this thing. This is the same diagram. So I am showing this. So we combined all these A, C, and D together and gave state A, and B, E, and F together and gave state B, and then we designed. Okay, va? So this is the procedure as such to do. But the first one we saw is a direct comparison procedure. Okay. So we shall see example where you have some different set of compatibles and things. So for this example, we saw all those things. Okay. So here, let us take this particular example. Okay. Directly, you consider that you are given with this merger diagram. Okay. From the merger diagram also, you can actually give the compatible pairs because we are drawing lines from the compatible pairs only. So you could say that. So here, if you check, you are having, and we will always check for the shapes over there in the merger diagram. So here in this merger diagram, actually you can see a triangle B, C, and H, right? Then we have a rectangle over here with A, B, E, and F. And in addition, here you can see that the diagonals are also connected. So we actually consider that as a maximal compatible. Okay. If the diagonals were not connected, that is D, F, and AE were not connected, you cannot consider that as a shape. We will see that example also. Okay, well, then the remaining lines you have to take. So the remaining lines are C comma D, then C comma E. So that is written over there. And the state G was not equivalent with any of the states. So it is written separately as such. Okay. So now here you can combine. Okay. These four states as a equivalent one. Okay. So here the main idea is to know how you could give the maximal compatibles. The other data we are not given with. So you just understand how you can write the maximal compatibles from the merger diagram. Okay, va? We have another example also for this closed covering condition actually. So here in this particular example let us consider. So here, this is the implication table for some example. We don't know what the example is. As such, this had 5 states. So that's the reason why the first state was left out in the row and the last state was left out along the column. And from this, you have the compatible pairs as A comma B, A comma D, B comma C, C comma D, C comma E, and D comma E. All these are compatible pairs. So for that, the merger diagram is drawn over here. Okay, va? So A comma B line is connected over there. A comma D, B comma C, C comma D, C comma E, and D comma E. So here, looking for shapes, you can find that you have C, D, E as a triangle, and A, B, C, and D are four-sided figure, right? However, here the diagonals are not connected. So you cannot consider this A, B, C, and D combinedly as a maximal compatible. Okay, that's the reason why all those are taken separately. So this CDE, we have no issue. So we have taken this CDE as a maximal compatible. The remaining lines you have to write it separately. So this A comma B, A comma D, and B comma C are separate lines. So we have written all those separately. Okay. Now we shall see what this closed covering condition is. So here these are the compatible pairs and the maximal compatibles. So we shall write the compatibles over here. So we have written the maximal compatibles over there in the first row. So here we write the maximal compatibles. So the first row is actually the maximal compatibles. AB, AD, BC, and CDE. Okay. Then we are to write the implied states. So here, checking this particular implication table, you can find that A comma B is said to be compatible only if B and C are compatible. Similarly, A and D are compatible if B and C are compatible. So what we do is we write for A comma B, I write this B comma C as the implied state, and for A comma D, B comma C is written as the implied state. Similarly, for B comma C, we have D comma E as the implied state. So for B comma C, D comma E is the implied state. And this CDE is actually the combination of C comma D, D comma E, and C comma E. These three. Right? This is the combination of getting C, D, and E. So we have to check that also. So there we actually find with C comma D, you have A comma D as the implied state. C comma E, it doesn't have any implied state, so no issue. And D comma E is implied with B comma C. So we have written those two states over here. Okay, va? Now to find the minimal set. So as such, blindly what our mind try to give is, so we need to cover all the 5 states, right? So what we think is, if we cover this A comma B and this C, D, E, we think that all the states are covered and it is also a minimal set. Okay. However, here the thing is, when you are having implied state, that particular state should also be covered in the combination we consider. Do you understand? If
Yes,
I am
ma'am.
going to consider that is A comma B and C comma D comma E as a combination, as we check, we find that B comma C is the implied state for A comma B, and for this C, D, and E, we have A comma D as well as B comma C as implied state. So with closure condition, what it implies is, if we are going to take a compatible pair and if it has some implied state, that should also be covered in the set we have considered. Okay, va? So for that purpose, we cannot consider these as the minimal set. So for finding the minimal set, what we do is we check for other options. So leaving out this AB, if we are considering A comma D, B comma C, and CDE. Because in order to take this CDE, the implied states are A comma D and B comma C. So only option is to include those things over here. Okay. So if we are going to consider these three as the minimal set, here you have the implied state to be BC, which is covered with the condition we have taken. Here you have DE, which is covered with this CDE, because this actually comprises of C comma D, C comma E, and D comma E. So this is also covered over here. And for this particular combination, it is A comma D and B comma C. So that is also covered over here. So this 3 will give us the minimal set. So that is what is closed covering condition. Whenever you have an implied state for the compatible pairs, you have to check the implied state also gets covered if you are choosing that compatible pair. Okay, va? Adu illama you cannot include any other combinations. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is about the closed covering condition. So with respect to the design, we have seen the direct simplification and how you could do these things by using implication table, merger diagram, and the closed covering condition. So I have given some few questions over there. So next we shall start with race-free state assignment. So I was mentioning we cannot just like that assign values for the states, because we need to ensure that the race conditions do not occur by having the state assignment. So as such, we have two methods for race-free state assignment: shared row method and multiple row method. So this race-free state assignment, generally they ask as theory only, or you have to understand the example given over here as such and try explain how the race-free state assignment is performed. Okay. So race-free, the name itself implies that you should avoid the race conditions. Okay. Majorly the critical races. It is okay if we have non-critical race. However, critical race should always be avoided. Okay. Va? So only one variable should change at any given time. That is the main thing. Then with the adjacent assignment, we see the condition that binary values of states between which transitions occur only differ in one variable. Okay, va? Adjacent state. It is similar to what we do with the K-map and all. Okay, va? Adjacent assignment, that is adjacent state. You should have only one variable change at a time. So this is as such a tedious process. Okay, va? So if we are given with m variables required for a flow table with n rows, you will be having 2m to be greater than or equal to n. So no critical race for assigning a single variable to a flow table with 2 rows. That's what I mentioned the other day when we saw, that is with the example we just now saw too, you had the states combined as A, C, and D combined as one state, and B, E, and F combined as one state. So when you are having only 2 rows in the flow table, there will not be any critical race. Okay, there is no possibility of having critical race over there. So we need not mind about thinking all those cases in 2-state condition. You will always be checking for race condition when you are going to have more than 2 states, because there only we will be having the binary assignment in such manner. So here, before doing this race-free state assignment, we will come across the term transition diagram. So what this transition diagram is? So it is a pictorial representation of all required transitions between rows. So from which state to which state it is going, all those things we mark it in a pictorial representation. That we call it as the transition diagram. So here we try to find only one binary variable changes during each state transition. So if there is 2 binary variable change, we add additional row by means of this shared row method or multiple row method in order to have race-free assignment. Okay, va? So we shall see an example. So here, this is a 3-row flow table. So here with this, let us see how you can draw the transition diagram. So here you are having three states A, B and C. Let us mark those with dots. Okay. Then we check for the conditions. So here we see that when the input conditions are 0, 0 and the present state is A, I am in the state A itself. I am not moving anywhere. If the input condition is 0, 1, I am going to state B. So that is given with a directed line. Okay. Then if the input condition is 1, 1, we go to state C. And for input condition 1, 0, I am in the same state. So no problem. Next, checking with state B. So for input condition B, I am going to state A. So we make this bidirectional arrow. Okay. You are going from A to B as well as B to A. Then for the input conditions 0, 1 and 1, 1, I am remaining in the same state B. So no issue. Then for input condition 1, 0, I am going to state C. So this is given as B to C. The directed arrow implies from which direction I am going to the other state. Okay. And similarly for state C, when the input condition is 0, 0, I am going to state A. So this is also a bidirectional line. And all the other cases I am in state C itself. So no issue. So here if we are considering the state assignment to be 0, 0, 0, 1 and 1, 1. Okay. If I am considering it this way, you can see that A to C transition is actually two variables are changing values simultaneously, right? If you consider this to be 1, 0, then B to C transition will actually have two binary variable change. Okay. So we have to overcome this. So for this purpose only, we have two type of method. One is the shared row method of state assignment and the other is the multiple row method state assignment. Okay. In case of this shared row method, what we do is we include extra rows and divert wherever you are having two variable change as going through that one to make it a single variable change. So what we do is, let us see this. So instead of going with this A to C transition directly, we make a additional state over here. Let us call it D and make the transition as instead of directly going from A to C, I go to D and then go to C. Similar way, C to A is also done by a C to D and then to A. Okay. Thereby, we could avoid the race condition. So we have this A to B transition. B to A is also there. Then let this be D and this be C. We have B to C transition. Then C to A as well as A to C. Okay, va? We have just made a break over there by introducing an extra state. Okay, va? So now if I have this as 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 0. Okay. By having it like this, I am avoiding the race condition. Okay. Here as such, if you see the transition from A to C alone is critical because if there is a change, you may end up with final state as B or you can go to state C. So this is actually critical race, whereas C to A transition is non-critical. However, when we assign values, we will be overcoming both of these race conditions. Okay. Now what we do is Wherever we have transition from A to C or C to A, we will introduce an intermediate unstable state D over there. Okay. So we are going to have A, B, C and D. And the input conditions are, we are having x1, x2. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. This is with respect to x1, x2. A, B, C and D. So as I was mentioning, here we are in the same state A, so no issue. A to B transition, also no issue. For A to C, what we are actually going to do is, we are going to D and then to C. So what we do is, here from A to B, I give unstable D. Then in the same input condition of D, I will go to state C and then I will go to stable C. Okay. Do you understand that?
Ma'am, can you explain this once again?
Wherever there is transition from A to C or C to A, I am going to do it as A to D and then to C. Similar way, C to D and then to A. Okay, va? So here I have the transition as A to C. So what I do is, instead of going directly to C, I introduce the state D over there. Then it will come over here. Then from there, with the same input condition, I go to state C. Okay, va? D to C. Then from there, it will go to the stable C value. Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now with B, you don't have any issue over there. So B to A, being in B as such, B to C transition also same thing. Then for C to A, we are going to go via D. So I will go to D first. So I make this as D. Then from D, I will go to A. So I give this A over there and you go to the stable view. Okay. The remaining values as such. Here for the remaining places, you put a don't care. Okay, va? This is one example for race-free state assignment. However, in this, you should ensure that the value should not become 1, 0 with our assignment, because otherwise it would become a stable state. So this is to be avoided. Okay. You should avoid reaching the value of 1, 0 to get a stable value in the last row. Okay. Okay. So this is example where you have 3 states in the given example. So we shall continue this in tomorrow's class, where we continue with the 4-row example and then we see the multiple row method. Multiple row method is somewhat easier actually. You need not analyze too much. It is simple one. This shared row only takes some analysis. Okay. So we shall finish today's class here. Thank you guys.